I woke up early. The sun was not up yet. I went to the kitchen. I made coffee. The smell was good. I sat at the table. I opened my notebook. I looked at our money. I am an accountant. I like numbers. I like order. I wrote down all our bills. The rent was due soon. The car payment too. We needed food. We needed gas. I added everything. I looked at the total. We had enough money, but not much extra. I needed to save more. I took out my coupons. I cut them from the newspaper. I had many coupons. One was for bread. One was for milk. One was for eggs. I put the coupons in my purse. I would use them later. Every dollar was important. I was careful with money. Mason came into the kitchen. He looked very tired. His eyes were red. His face was pale. He sat down slowly. I smiled at him. "Good morning." He did not smile back. He just nodded. He looked at his plate. I made eggs and toast, his favorite breakfast. But he did not eat. He pushed the plate away. He looked at the table. He looked at the wall. He looked anywhere but at me. "Are you sick?" I asked. I was worried. "You look very tired." "I am fine," he said. His voice was quiet. He still did not look at me. I put my hand on his hand. His hand was cold. "You need to eat," I said. "You need your strength." He pulled his hand away. He stood up. He walked to the window. He looked outside. I felt worried. Something was wrong, but I did not know what. Mason was my husband. We were married for 10 years. I trusted him. "Carlin," he said. He still looked out the window. "I need to tell you something." My heart beat faster. I waited. I did not say anything. "A big project came to the firm," he said. "It is very important. The deadline is very soon." I nodded. I understood. Mason worked hard. He was a good worker. "I have to stay at the office," he said. "Tonight, maybe for the whole week." I stood up. I walked to him. "That is a lot of work," I said. "You will be very tired." "I will sleep there," he said. "At the office. I will sleep at my desk or on the couch. I need to finish this project." I looked at his face. He looked so tired already. I felt sad for him. I felt worried about his health. "You need rest," I said. "Real rest. In a real bed." "I will be fine," he said. He looked at me now. His eyes looked empty, sad. "I just need to work." I wanted to help him. That was what wives do. They help their husbands. I found a clean pillow. I found our warm blanket, the blue one. Mason liked that one. I brought them to the kitchen. I put them in a bag. "Take these," I said. "You need to sleep well." Even at the office, he looked at the pillow and blanket. He looked at me. For a moment, his eyes were soft, sad, like he wanted to cry. "Thank you," he said. His voice was very quiet. His lips were cold. Then he left. He went to work. I stood in the kitchen. I looked at his plate. The eggs were cold now. The toast was hard. I sat down. I looked at my coupons again. I looked at my budget. I tried to work, but I could not focus. I thought about Mason. I thought about his tired eyes. I thought about his cold hands. I thought about the way he would not look at me, but I trusted him. He was my husband. He worked hard. He took care of us. This project was important. He needed to work. He needed to sleep at the office. I did not worry about other things. I did not think bad thoughts. I just worried about his health, about his rest, about his happiness. I cleaned the kitchen. I washed the dishes. I put the eggs in the trash. I saved the toast for later. I looked at my notebook. I made a list. I needed to buy food. I needed to cook for Mason. I would take him dinner. I would take him good food, hot soup, fresh bread. He was working so hard. I wanted to help him. I wanted to show him I loved him. I did not know then. I did not know what was really happening. I did not know that everything was going to change. I just sat there. I planned my shopping. I clipped my coupons. I trusted my husband. 2 days went by. Mason did not come home. He called me every night. He said he was working hard. He said he was sleeping at the office. I missed him. The house was too quiet. I wanted to see him. I wanted to help him. I decided to cook for him. I would make his favorite stew, beef stew with carrots and potatoes. He loved that stew. I made a shopping list. I needed beef. I needed carrots. I needed potatoes. I needed onions too. I took my purse. I took my coupons. I went outside. Mason's car was in the driveway. He left it home. He took the company car to work. I walked to his car. I opened the driver's door. I looked for my shopping bags. I always kept bags in the car. I needed them for the store. They were not in the back seat. They must be in the trunk. I went to the back. I opened the trunk. I looked inside. The trunk was clean. Very clean. Too clean. Mason usually kept tools here. And old papers. But now it was empty. I lifted the trunk mat. I wanted to check under it. Maybe the bags were there. I saw something red, dark red, like wine. I pulled it out. It was a coat. A woman's coat. The material was soft, very soft, like silk. I held it in my hands. It was not my coat. I did not own a coat like this. This coat was expensive, very expensive. I looked at it closely. It was beautiful. The color was deep, rich. The buttons were shiny. Then I smelled something, a strong smell, sweet, heavy, like flowers at night. I lifted the coat to my nose. The smell was very strong. It was perfume, expensive perfume. I did not use perfume like this. I used simple soap, clean soap. This smell was different. This smell was for someone else. My hands started to shake. My heart beat fast. Why was this coat here? Whose coat was this? I put my hand in the coat pocket. I felt paper. I pulled it out. It was a receipt. From a restaurant, a fancy restaurant. The kind I never went to. The kind that cost too much money. I looked at the date on the receipt. I looked at it again. I could not believe it. The date was 2 nights ago. The first night, Mason said he was sleeping at the office, but he was not at the office. He was at this restaurant. This expensive restaurant. The receipt showed 2 dinners, 2 glasses of wine, 2 desserts. The total was very high, more than our weekly food budget. My hands shook more. I dropped the receipt. I picked it up again. I looked at the coat. I looked at the receipt. I looked at the trunk. My mind was spinning. Who did Mason have dinner with? Why did he lie to me? Why was there a woman's coat in his car? I thought about the perfume smell. Heavy and sweet. Not like me. Not like my clean soap smell. I thought about Mason's cold hands. His tired eyes. The way he did not look at me. The way he pushed his breakfast away. I sat down on the driveway. I still held the coat. I still held the receipt. I did not cry. I could not cry. I just sat there. I felt empty. I felt confused. Was Mason lying to me? Was he with another woman? Was he sleeping somewhere else, not at the office? I did not want to believe it, but the coat was here. The receipt was here. The perfume smell was here. I put the coat back in the trunk. I put the receipt in my purse. I closed the trunk. I stood up. My legs felt weak. My whole body felt weak. I did not go to the store. I forgot about the stew. I forgot about the shopping bags. I went back inside the house. I sat on the couch. I looked at the receipt again. The restaurant name was fancy. The address was across town, far from Mason's office. I tried to think. I tried to understand, but I could not. Mason was my husband. I trusted him. I loved him. But now I did not know what to think. I did not know what to believe. The coat was real. The receipt was real. The perfume smell was real. I sat there all afternoon. I did not move. I just thought and worried and felt my hands shake. The next night came. I could not sleep. I could not eat. I thought about the coat. I thought about the receipt. I looked outside. Rain was falling. Heavy rain. The sky was dark. The streets were wet. I made a decision. I would not call Mason. I would go to his office. I would see for myself. I put on my coat. I took my car keys. I went to the garage. I got in my car. The rain hit my windshield, hard, fast. I turned on the wipers. I drove slowly. The streets were empty. It was late. Most people were home, safe and warm. But I was not home. I was driving. I was looking for my husband. I reached Mason's office building. It was tall, many windows. Usually some lights were on. People worked late here. But tonight the building looked dark, very dark. I looked up at Mason's floor. His office window was black, no light at all. I drove to the parking lot. I looked for Mason's company car. I knew the number. I knew the color. His parking spot was empty. The car was not there. I felt my heart sink. Where was he? He said he was at the office. He said he was working. I parked my car. I waited. The rain kept falling. I watched the building. I watched the parking lot. 1 hour went by. Then another hour. I was cold. I was wet. But I did not leave. Then I saw lights. Car lights coming down the street. It was Mason's company car. I knew it. I saw the number. My heart started to beat fast, very fast. I sat up straight. I watched, but the car did not stop. It did not turn into the parking lot. It just drove past the building. I started my car. I followed him. I stayed far behind. I did not want him to see me. The rain made it hard to see, but I did not lose him. I kept my eyes on his red tail lights. We drove for a long time. We left the nice part of town. We went to a different area. The buildings here were old, broken. The streets were dirty. There were no people outside. Mason's car turned left. I turned left too. We were in an industrial area now. Old warehouses, empty lots, broken fences. I felt scared. Why was Mason here? This was not his office. This was not the restaurant. This was nowhere. His car stopped. He parked in front of a big gray building. No windows, no sign, just a metal door. I stopped my car far away. I turned off my lights. I watched. Mason got out of his car. He looked around, left, right. Behind him, he looked nervous, scared. The rain was still heavy. He was getting wet. Then the metal door opened. A man came out. A tall man. He wore a black suit, very clean, very expensive. The man held an umbrella. He walked to Mason. He put the umbrella over Mason's head. They talked. I could not hear them. The rain was too loud. Mason looked small next to the man. Mason looked afraid. Then they walked to the door. Together, under the umbrella, I looked for a woman. I looked everywhere. But there was no woman, just Mason and the man in black. They went inside. The door closed behind them. I sat in my car. I did not understand. What was this place? Who was that man? Why was Mason here? This was not an affair. There was no woman, no restaurant, no dinner. This was something else, something different, something wrong. I felt more confused than before, and more scared. The rain kept falling. The building stayed dark and silent, and I sat there, alone, in the cold, watching, waiting, not knowing what to do. I waited in my car. I watched the building. The rain was cold. I needed to know the truth. I needed to see what was inside. I got out of my car. The rain hit my face. I was wet in seconds. I walked to the building, slowly, quietly. My heart was loud in my chest. I walked around the building. I looked for a window, any window. There, on the side, a small window, low to the ground, dirty glass. But I could see through it. I got down on my knees. The ground was wet and cold. I did not care. I looked through the window. I saw a room. One light was on. A weak light, yellow. I saw Mason. He sat at a table. Papers were everywhere. So many papers. The man in black stood next to him. Gray hair, mean face. I could not hear well, but I watched. I read their lips. I tried to understand. The old man pointed at the papers. He said something. His face was angry. Mason shook his head. He looked scared, very scared. The old man hit the table. Hard. Mason jumped. Then the old man said something. He pointed at Mason. Then he made a gesture, like a gun. Pointed at his own head. Mason's face went white. He nodded, slowly. I felt sick. What was happening? What were they doing to my husband? Mason picked up a pen. His hand was shaking. He signed a paper, then another, then another. The old man smiled, a cold smile. He took the papers. I looked at the papers on the table. I saw numbers, big numbers, money amounts. But something was wrong. I am an accountant. I know numbers. I know money. These numbers were fake. They were lies. The papers showed money going in, money going out. But the amounts did not match. The dates were wrong. The names looked false. This was not real business. This was something bad. Something illegal. I understood then. They were using Mason. They were making him sign fake papers. Papers about money. Dirty money. Stolen money. Mason was being forced. That is why he looked scared. That is why he could not come home. The old man left the room. The man in black stayed. He stood by the door. He watched Mason. Like a guard, like a prison guard. Mason put his head in his hands. His shoulders moved. He was crying. I wanted to run to him. I wanted to help him, but I could not move. Mason stood up. He walked to the corner. He took out his phone. The man in black moved fast. He grabbed the phone from Mason's hand. No, I heard the man say, even through the window. No calls, no messages. They watch everything. They listen to everything. Mason said something. He pointed at the phone. He looked desperate. The man in black shook his head. He put the phone in his pocket. Mason sat down again. He put his face in his hands. He cried harder. I saw papers near the window. On the floor. They must have fallen. I saw words. Keep family safe. Do not tell wife. Surveillance on house. Threats. My blood went cold. They were watching me. They were threatening us. Mason was not having an affair. He was protecting me. He was signing fake papers to keep me safe. He was alone. He was scared. He could not call for help. They watched everything. They listened to everything. He was trapped, and I did not know. I thought he was lying. I thought he was with another woman. But he was suffering. He was crying. He was alone in this dark room. With these bad men, I felt tears on my face. Or maybe it was rain. I did not know. I wanted to break the window. I wanted to save him. But what could I do? If I went in, they would know. They would hurt Mason. They would hurt me. I backed away from the window. I stood up. I was shaking. From cold, from fear, from everything. I ran back to my car. I got inside. I locked the doors. I needed to think. I needed a plan. I needed to save Mason. But how? How could I help him? How could I stop these men? I sat in my car. I was cold and wet. I tried to think. Then I looked back at the window. I saw something new. The old man came back into the room. He carried something. A big envelope. A thick envelope. He put it on the table. He opened it. I saw what was inside. Money. Lots of money. Cash. Green bills. Stacks and stacks. The old man pushed the money toward Mason. He said something. He smiled that cold smile again. Mason looked at the money. Then he looked at the old man. Then Mason took the money. He put it in a bag, a black bag. My heart stopped. Mason took the money. He accepted it. Was Mason doing this for money? Was he part of this? Was he bad too? I did not understand. I thought he was forced. I thought he was protecting me, but he took the money. He took so much money. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he wanted this. Maybe he was greedy. I felt angry. So angry. He lied to me. He took dirty money. He was a criminal. I started my car. I drove home, fast. The rain was heavy, but I did not care. I was so angry and hurt and confused. That night I did not sleep. I thought about everything: the coat, the receipt, the money, the lies. The next morning I made a decision. I would go to Mason's office. His real office. The corporate building. I would tell everyone. I would show everyone what he did. I took the papers I found near the window. I took the receipt from my purse. I took everything. I drove to the corporate building. I went inside. The lobby was big and clean. Many people were there. I looked around. I saw the reception desk. I saw office workers. I saw men in suits. Then I saw Mason. He came out of the elevator. He looked tired, so tired. I walked toward him, fast. My heart was beating hard. "Mason!" I shouted. Everyone looked at me. Mason saw me. His face went white. He looked scared. "Carlin," he said, "what are you doing here?" "I know everything," I shouted. I did not care who heard. "I know where you sleep. I know who you were with last night." People stopped walking. They stared at us. "Carlin, please," Mason said. He came closer. "Not here. Not now." "Yes, here," I said. I was so angry. "Yes, now. I saw you last night." I pulled out the papers. I held them up. "I have proof. I have everything." Mason's eyes went wide. He looked at the papers, then he looked around the lobby. I saw his face change, from scared to terrified. Pure terror. "Where did you get those?" he whispered. His voice was shaking. "From your secret building," I said. "I followed you. I saw you take the money. I saw everything." Mason grabbed my arm. Hard. "Give me those papers. Now. Everyone should see. Everyone should know what you did." I turned to the people watching. "My husband is a liar. He takes dirty money. Look at these papers." I held the papers higher. People came closer. They wanted to see. They wore suits, office suits, but their faces looked familiar. One was the man in black from last night. The other was the old man with gray hair. They were here, in Mason's office, dressed like normal workers. Mason saw them too. His face went gray. The old man smiled. That same cold smile. He started walking toward us. Mason turned to me. He grabbed both my arms. He looked into my eyes. "You don't understand," he shouted. "Run, Carlin. Just run." "What?" I said. I did not understand. "Run," he screamed. He pushed me, hard, toward the door. "Get out. Now, please." But it was too late. The men were there, all around us. Then he looked at Mason. "Your wife is very curious," he said. His voice was cold, very, very curious. Mason put himself between me and the old man. She knows nothing, he said. I swear, she knows nothing. But now we know she knows, the old man said. That is a problem. I finally understood. These were the bad men, and I just told them everything. I just showed them I knew. I made a terrible mistake. I woke up the next morning. I was alone in my bed. Mason did not come home. He did not call. He did not text. I felt sick. I felt so much regret. I made a terrible mistake. I got dressed. I took the papers. I went to the police station. I need help, I told the officer. My husband is in danger. Bad men have him. I showed the officer the papers. I told him about the building. The gray building with no windows. The officer looked at the address. He looked at his computer. He looked at me. Ma'am, he said, this building has been empty for years. Nobody works there. No, I said. I saw it. I saw Mason there. I saw the men. The officer shook his head. The building is vacant, abandoned. Nobody is there. I did not understand. How could that be? I saw everything. I went home. I felt empty, lost, confused. I called Mason's phone. It was off. I called his office. They said he did not come in today. I waited all day. No call, no message, nothing. One new text message. I looked at the screen. It was from Mason. I did it to keep you safe. Now they know. That was all. The number was disconnected. I tried again and again. Nothing. Mason was gone. No trace. No records. Just that one message. His office was empty. Clean. Like he was never there. I sat in his chair. I put my face in my hands. I opened my bag. The pillow was still there. The blue blanket too. I made them for Mason, but he never used them. I held the pillow close. I cried. I understood now. Mason was not bad. He was trying to protect me. He suffered alone. He cried alone. And I did not trust him. I did not wait. I did not try to understand. I destroyed everything. I destroyed him. Sometimes the truth is deeper than we know. Sometimes we need to wait. We need to trust. We need to understand. But I did not wait. And now Mason was gone forever. I appreciate you being here and listening quietly. If one small detail stayed in your mind, please press like. You can share this video with a friend, a learner, or anyone who loves stories. And don't forget to subscribe to Teddy English Story. Subscribing is free, but it helps us grow and keep telling stories. Turn on the bell so you won't miss the next one. A new story is coming soon.